Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Black Light Show. This is your host, Ashiki Ajamu, on JAMS Radio. We have the honor and the privilege of speaking to Madame Mary Sock. She's running for president in Gambia, which is West Africa. And a little bit about Gambia. They got their independence in 1965. They have a population of 2.4 million people and growing. So they are a country on the rise. So we have to look out for Gambia because they're about to be on the rise. And with my pleasure of introducing Madam Marie Sock, and as well as Dr. Uwa Oyo Simare. I apologize if I didn't get it completely right, but I'm working on that. And then we also have the honor of Miss Nabutu Ankanda. And then we also have Brother Paul Landing that just joined in. And we will start with the honorable elect running for presidency in Gambia, Miss Marie Sock. How are you doing today?
I am doing great. Thank you so much for inviting me to this wonderful platform. I am really honored to be here in front of all my sisters and yourself. And hey, this is wonderful. Thank you for having me.
Yes. Now, from being an everyday citizen, looking at the life and what's going on in Gambia, what sparked your interest in running for presidency? That's a big ambition. It's a big feat.
Well, it didn't just spark. I didn't just sit down and say I want to be the president of the Gambia. I was involved in politics since 2015 when the move was to remove or oust the former president Jammeh. I supported a political party, political entity, because I believed in what they were doing and what they were saying. I felt coming back from the diaspora, I need to get involved in something positive. So I gave it my all and was supporting a political party so that, because I believed in their agenda, I believed in what they want to do. But halfway down the line, I realized that, I was doing a lot for them financially, physically, and basically branding them, but the capacity was not there. And it was stressful for me because you were running 120 miles per hour and everybody else around you is running 20 or 10 miles per hour. So it's frustrating, and then the term of, oh, she's an iron lady, she's this. If I don't get things moving, things won't move. But I decided to let that go and basically continue on what I was doing, which was the charity work. Now, it was the young people that were in these political parties that I was supporting that didn't see me in meetings anymore. And they came to my office and said, listen, I know we made it through 2016, the coalition won, but we didn't see you active anymore. I said, yes, I cannot be active if what is written on paper is not what is actually being practiced. So I said, I cannot do that. The way politics is in the Gambia, it's not what I know what politics is all about. And then they went back and forth, encouraging me that they wanted to run. Their parents came in to my office. Us, we want you to stand for us. Without you, we see a lot of hope. Actually, we were going to vote you in when we go to Congress. I said, whoa, that's a big role, I don't want to run for president. I just want to support. They said, no, you are our hope. We see what you do. We see how you talk. We see everything you stand for, your integrity. And we see that. And we want you. So it took a lot of back and forth till I gave in. And I gave in on conditions. Of course, I said, I'm going to run as an independent candidate. And because I feel that this is time for Gambians to unite. This is time for Gambians to come all as one. And we need to break the political divide, the religious divide, the tribal divide that is not doing anything but dividing us as a people. And in order for me to break that cycle, I have to stand as an independent candidate. And I did advise them not to take me, not to make me stand, and then they back up, because whatever I start, I don't stop. I go all the way to the end. And that was made, the promise was made, they understood that. And that's how I sent my letter to the IEC, which is the electoral body for the Gambia. And then the journey started. This was in 2019.
Yes, that is excellent. How does it feel in the modern world to take on this role or this direction as a woman? And not just as anyone, but as a Black woman in this world that is trying to gain ground, and especially in the Gambia. How does that feel as a woman taking that stance?
Well, as a woman, I look at the demographics of Gambia. We have over 60% of the population is women. The voting capacity is women. Yes, the women need a voice in politics. We need to start having women in strategic positions in our government. It is not an easy task, because in Africa in general, women are placed on a certain level. Women are supposedly supposed to be quiet or in the kitchen. There's a lot of noise in the background. It is kind of disturbing me a little bit, if you don't mind.
I apologize.
Yeah. So, so taking this role as a woman is very difficult, especially a woman, I can say a woman like me, that is not traditional, that is not, maybe I didn't come with head wraps and gown and all that. So people, when I just came out, I got all the insults in the book. I got called all the names in the book. I got bashed even from the male and even from the female, that are supposed to stand with me. But one thing that sets me going or keeps me going is the voice of those women and youths that ask me to stand for them. And because of them, I am focused. So anything else that is a distraction, I don't, how do you call it? I don't encourage it, or I don't pay attention to them, because they're just distractions. You tell yourself, these are just distractions. Unfortunately, men think that this is a men's world. And it's about time we break that cycle. I remember, history tells us that there were days or years when women were kings, not queens, kings. And there's a reason for that. And it's coming again, because this is the time for women. And I want to just encourage every young woman out there to see themselves in me. We have to break the cycle of it's only men that should run, or it's only men that should make decisions for women in office. We are the mothers. We are the game changers. We give birth to boys and to men. I don't care how powerful you are. We are the ones that do that. So if we see that something is not going right, especially if we are being sidelined and be put aside, or we don't matter anymore, or girls cannot go to school anymore, then we need to stand up as women and as parents to rectify that. So it has not been an easy ride, but I thank God I have great people around me. I have great women around me, great sisters around me that, hey, keep it pushing, keep it going. And internationally, I'm getting the support. People are beginning to recognize my fight, because I don't give up very easily.
Very good, very good. Now, I commend you and I support you in that, in terms of equality. I definitely support the equality of women. Now, from my studies on economics in Gambia, where you look at it, that the economic power in some sense is in the hands of women, in terms of the markets, in terms of selling things, in terms of the whole aspect of the chain and how it's distributed throughout the communities or throughout the entire country. Now, what are your plans in terms of organizing the women in terms of that opportunity there in the economics, since it already exists? How can it be better?
Well, like I always tell people, we do already have these laws and policies and everything in place in the government. It's just they're not implemented. And it's high time we look at those and start implementing these policies. Every candidate comes with a policy or comes with your manifesto. Yes, it's a modern age. We have to look at what is existing right now, what they have existing, and then add what we have so that we can start empowering. Like I said, I want to have about 50% female in my government, in my cabinet, because I feel that will create a balance in the society. Women can have rights, women can have opportunities. Right now, the opportunities given to women is just to create gardens. And after they create the garden, for example, in agriculture, they do not have a supply chain, for example. There's no storage facility. So during COVID, for example, these women will call me and say, hey, we have a lot of basket of pepper, basket of tomatoes, and we don't know what to do with it. So you cannot just, women say, oh, let us empower women. And empowering women for you is just to tell them, hey, I'll fence this lot for you and give you a garden. I mean, that's basically not empowering. All you're doing is getting them to work, but then the work has no, no profit at the end, then there's a lot of losses. But if you do build them a garden and then have a storage facility and then create a supply chain for those vegetables, those fruits, those whatever, then you're empowering those women because like you said, they contribute greatly in our economy. And we are going to empower women to the max. I believe when you empower a woman, you empower the nation. And as a woman, that is one of my key, focus, to make sure the women keep it moving. Regardless whether the economy is good or bad, women are moving. So imagine if we have 50% in our cabinet, we have women in strategic positions, we have women that we give power or a boost to create something for themselves, how that country will work. Rwanda, for example, the president is a man, but he has all female around him, and he's doing wonders because our work ethic is different. And I am about to emulate that.
Oh, I believe in you, and I applaud that. I truly believe that that you will live up to that by going for the presidency. What do you think are some of the things that hold the people of Gambia back? And what could you do to relieve some of those strains, and for the people of Gambia?
What is holding Gambia especially back is our tradition, our culture, the society. Gambia is such a small nation. We're all connected. We're all kind of related. But unfortunately, the society, it's like Gambia wants to move to the future. It wants to grow, but society is holding it back. When you talk about religion plays a big part, but then they conflict religion and culture. It's like they try to bring both together, which I think it's a manipulative strategy. And also the education. Most of the Gambians are not very literate, so it's easy to manipulate them and tell them whatever, and they believe in that. If we start by educating our masses, making sure that education is priority, making sure that people are informed, then I think Gambia will move again. And that's starting from the grassroots. It's a lot of work, but if it's strategically done, if it's strategically done, it will work. But right now with politicians, they feel that on educating the masses, helps them to govern or helps them to win. Well, I don't see it like that. I feel the masses have to be educated, well informed, so that we can have opportunities, the youth can have jobs, things can move for the Gambia. But until we start sensitizing them about these things, we are going to be in the rut. And just to buttress on what you just say about whether it will, how to make Gambia to move again, sorry, or how this can impact us, is by making sure that people understand what is happening, especially with our youth. Our youth watch the internet. Our youth are informed. Our youth are more informed than their elders. And if we tap into their mindset and help them out, then there's a balance, because they cannot watch all these things on internet and then come back home and it's cultural and it's society. Then there's a conflict, and that conflict one day will explode. The youths are they're restless right now. It's not only in the Gambia, it's the whole of West Africa, the whole of Africa. The youths are at an unrest. They are at an unrest. This is one of the reasons some get fed up. They go into drugs. They want to get out of the country. They want to leave Africa. They think the grass is greener on the other side. You cannot tell them anything. You coming from the West, if you want to tell them something, they will not listen to you. How do we break through that? How do you call it, break that part, which is culture, and also what is traditional and what is now? How do we do that? It's only through education and sensitization, which right now, currently, we are doing in the villages. We're talking to people, we're using their existing circumstances to make an example of that and make them see, hey, the life you're living right now, this is not the way, this is how it's supposed to be, and this is what we have to do this. Do you want this to stay where you are, or is this what you want? And then they sit there, they think about it, and they said, wow, yeah, this is what we want. Then the young people come in, yes, Auntie Marie, we understand. So it's a lot of, they're not, people are not, when you say education, we talk about education in the European sense, but African people naturally are educated. It's just that they're not educated in what we think education is all about. So when you do talk to them, they do understand and they reason, but somebody has to get that to them. And we're working very hard to get that. And of course, education is going to be our priority. No child will be left behind, because that is the key of changing the mentality of a country.
Yes, I totally agree. And you tapped on some of the things that we look at in terms of how countries that we as a people live in, like the Gambia, or if we say Nigeria or different places, and how they're considered third world. And I understand where you're coming from to say, like, well, we want to change that narrative to being one world, that the same things that are available and let's say Europe or the United States is available to the people in the Gambia, but also made by the Gambians. Not really looking at the export aspect of things. That's one of the things that I know that you were interested in, building up Gambia, building things and products and also technology made by actual Gambians. I know that that was one of your missions. So would you like to talk about that?
Yes, when we talk about Gambia, Gambia has a lot of opportunities, really. And as small as it is, Gambia is the hub for West Africa. One of the reasons the British fought the French was to maintain that river Gambia. If Gambia is used as a hub, Gambia will be well off. Yes, the former president used to say Gambia can be the Singapore of Africa, and it can. With just about 2 million or a little over 2 million inhabitants, and it being so small, how difficult is that to develop? When you open, for example, like you talk about right now, as I speak to you, when we digitalize everything, we're going to realize our money. For example, the GRA, we can collect our tax revenue properly. There's so many loopholes, there's so many monies going missing from the ports and everything. If we develop our port, if we take our port as that logistic hub that it's supposed to be, a lot of money can come into that country, which can help itself, instead of all the time taking loans. If we, for example, build roads, and these roads are built to pay the monies back by using the road to make money. Let's say, for example, you bring in containers from the port. those containers can go to Bissau, those containers can go to Mali. How do you get that going faster? Is by building a train, making sure the train connects from Senegal. It's already coming from Senegal and going through to Mali, but it can come through Gambia. It can come through Gambia and then go back out to Tamba and going to Mali and Bissau. Now that creates a big trade for the Gambia. The airport, that's another logistic hub. We had an airport that was built for NASA, one of the best runways in Africa, in West Africa. And we're not utilizing the capacity of it. Instead, I don't know, maybe they're using it to export drugs or whatever. Well, we could be using it as a logistic hub for a lot of things. And Gambia will be that center. Right now, because of the government we have or people that we have, they're not seeing that, the capacity of Gambia. They don't see Gambia at where Gambia is supposed to be. So we're allowing Senegal to use that. Senegal is now trying to become that hub. Senegal is trying to become that hub that we are, but they can never be because of we are more strategically located than them. Yes. So these are all innovative things that we want to do for Gambia. This is why I invite our brothers and sisters in the diaspora so that they can see these opportunities. We cannot all sit here in the diaspora and get comfortable and talk about why the Chinese is there or why this is there or why that is there. If you have the connections to build a train, a railroad, connecting, why not? If it's a valuable, if it's a company that's reputable and a company that can do this, why not? We know you as a brother or a sister and probably do a better job because these are your people. Again, we talk about technology. We have to start that from the grassroots, from primary school, what you call junior school. We have to start that so children can adapt to these, how do you call it, new way of life. Because right now, as I speak to you, we do have the work capacity. We have a lot of young people, but unfortunately, they don't have the know-how. They're not even educated. So if I bring a company right now, like we're talking about railroads and stuff like that, we're gonna probably just have them, doing the odd jobs for the railroad because they're not educated enough. They have no technological know-how of anything. So we will end up giving that contract to a foreign company. The foreign company is going to hire its own people. So that loan you took, you're going to pay back those experts that they bring through that loan like they're doing right now. WHO, UN, they're doing that. They'll give you money and take that same money and send you experts, and through that money, you pay those experts. How about you train our people? You train our people to do that and pay them. So these are all the things that we have to look at if we want to grow and move as a nation.
Yes, I agree. Now, with that said, we as a people do have the capabilities of developing Africa with Africans. With that knowledge, with you being president, are you willing to work with the other parties? Because some of their ideas as well may be useful to some of the goals that you're trying to reach, as well as some of the other nations outside of, let's not just say outside of, just within Africa itself. That's where I'm coming from. To work with Africans in Africa itself, so then we can get that manpower or that power, the education in some aspects, as well as to create that supply chain network within Africa. Are you willing to work under those circumstances as well? Not just with the Europeans, like most African countries work with the Europeans or the Americans or the Chinese.
This is why I call on all, I call on all my brothers and sisters. And when I say brothers and sisters, obviously we are all melanated, right? So I call on all my brothers and sisters, to come and work, but if we don't have them coming, then we are left with, hey, if the European comes, we will work with them. If the Chinese come, they make a deal, we work with them. But of course, it'd be nice to have our own brothers and sisters from the region who bring, because we have to develop our Africa ourselves, because we can probably wheel and deal better. We can shake hands on a lot of things. And this is an opportunity to do that. I want Gambia to be the model of Africa. I want Gambia to be that model where we say, wow, we fixed the Gambia. Now, wherever we go, people will recognize that, oh, we did this for ourselves. This is why from day one, I've been inviting brothers and sisters from the diaspora, from Africa to come, because we can do it. You have big industries and companies all over Africa.
Mm-hmm. Right. That's absolutely true. Now, I understand that you're a part of the Africa's Women's Mobilization Commission, and that's based in Atlanta. But you have chapters all over the world. And expand on your role working with the organization.
Well, the organization has been very, very well with me, great with me. I mean, they give me this huge platform, and they just made me the chair for the whole of West Africa. And for that, I mean, that's a huge title and a huge role, but I love it because what that does, it encourages me to be more connected with my African brothers and sisters. And it's, even though it's for sisters, for women, that does not stop us from working with men, because, men are our brothers as well and stuff. But it is encouraging, and we're going to, my plan, even now as we speak with the sisters, is, hey, let us take Gambia as an example. Let us take Gambia as a model. Let us work. Let us invest in Gambia to the point where when we see another woman running in another country in Africa, when they know that the sisters are coming, because I'm part of those sisters now, they will say, whoa, they're coming, and they're coming big. Because it's high time we, the women, start playing a big role in our society, especially in politics, because we make things happen. We work. And these women right now, since I came, they've been working overtime just to help me out to have that seat, because it's not about only winning and sitting in the seat. It's also about developing the country to the point where it's an example of what a woman can do for all other African countries. When Ellen Johnson Sirleaf took in Liberia, we all know Liberia was chaotic, but she was there. She did her to know. And we never heard any scandal while she was there. Okay, and other countries as well. Tanzania right now has a female president, and she's doing great. Rwanda, even though it doesn't have a female president, he has 50% female in his cabinet or more, and they're doing wonders. So yes, we can do it. And when we say we are going to do something, we are very, focused on that, because our integrity is everything. Our integrity is everything. No woman wants to be shamed. No woman wants to come down and be shamed, because we want always to leave a legacy. And I'm sure with my sisters in the African Women Commission, Mobilization Commission, they will stand by me to make sure I don't, have any mistakes, and I do what I'm supposed to do, right? Because these are very, very powerful women that are standing with me.
Yes, very good, very good. A question to how would, since Africa in a whole is extremely diverse, as well as the Gambia itself is a diverse place, how would you bring that balance in terms of, as we're speaking of the male and the women, in terms of equality as one? So it's not a male female, but it's more of a Gambia thing. Like we are one, we're Gambian. Like here in the States, we undertone is it's a male woman thing, but it's more, we're American this, American that, so how would you get to that point in Gambia that is Gambian this, is we're Gambian. It's not male, female, we're Gambian. We're one.
It's starting, like I said, everything starts from you, the leader, how you promote, how do you call it, how you promote your country, and also what you do in your country. If, for example, we start with the grassroots, making sure girls and boys have equal opportunity at school, equal opportunity to go to school, for example, no girl, no child left behind type thing. If every child goes to school, or if you make education free, especially from the junior to the high, then that gives equal opportunity to all. Once you start doing things like that, automatically the whole country becomes one. Then, and this is what I promote, I said, listen, with all the negative that is in the United States, you never hear an American stand and bat their country. They always talk about how great America is, how America is this. I am an American. The American talks about their Americanness to the point it's like, wow. But when you come to the United States, you realize, oh, whoa, they have a lot of, thing going on. And until we Africans begin to behave like America, it's not going to change. And it starts with us. We have to start promoting our countries. I am a Gambian, I am from the Gambia. It's not about I'm a Mandinka. When you go out, they don't care about your tribe or anything. They don't care if you're a man or woman. They just care what nationality, where were you born, or where you're coming from, the Gambia. And to promote that, it starts from the leaders. The leaders have to start promoting their country as this. I am an African, I am a Gambian. What part of Africa? From the Gambia. That is it. Once we do that, then everybody else will start doing that. But we have to start somewhere. And it's also in the office. Just like I said, 50% women. So the other 50% is what? Is male, right?
Yes.
That's equal opportunity right there.
Oh, okay, I understand. So what you're looking at is just to fulfill some of the existing seats that's there, but just with women, so then you have a balance in that form. Now, when it comes down to religion, is that pretty much, does that take hold of some of let's say some of the roles of why men are in position in some cases, in some cases not? Could that be it? Because religion-wise, when you look at the cabinet, not everyone is one religion. It's a group. So how does that work in the society itself?
Well, even though Gambia is about 95% Muslim, we live in harmony. I mean, it's only recently politicians are using that, and it's bad, because the Gambia I came from, the Gambia I remember, in one family alone, in my house, in my family alone, we have Muslims, we have Christians. We never had a religious divide. We never had issues of religion. I was a Christian last year, for all my life, I've been a Christian. But last year I got married and my husband is a Muslim, you understand? And I became a Muslim. But that does not change my relationship with my brothers, my relationship with my family. It does not change at all, because this is my family. This is my brothers and sisters. I have my aunties. I have lots of aunties and uncles that became Muslim, but we are one family. Gambia has absolutely never had this kind of problems before. So we don't have, Gambia actually is one of the most tolerant countries when it comes to religion. We all live in harmony. We go to parties together. We go to naming ceremonies together. We are one because it is so small. We are too interconnected. In one house, you have Muslim and Christian. There has never, ever been an issue of that until recently, especially this election, where people are trying to make it an issue. And we need to break that. And this is why I tell people, I am from both. So I cannot say, hey, I'm going to not want my Christian brother again, because no, that's my brother. That's my sister. That's my uncle. That's my auntie. That's my friend. We went, when I was growing up, when I was a little girl, I remember we had so many Muslim friends, and they would go to what they call Dara, to their, the Islamic school, classes. And my mom will say, we all go together, when in church, we have Muslim friends that would come to church with us. So How beautiful is that?
Yes. Yes.
You know,
Yes.
so we cannot allow tribal, no religious, no anything to divide us. We are too small for divide. We need to be united. And this is why I stand as an independent candidate to have the opportunity to unite Gambians as one. The Gambia, I remember the Gambia where we didn't have this issue of key, you know, this is a Muslim or this is a Christian. We didn't have that.
Yes.
Muslims used to go to church and they would
Yes.
sit there and we would even, you know, joke about it today. And we Christians, some of us went to Dara, you know?
Yes.
You know, when you come to the Gambia, trust me, when you come to the Gambia around Christmas, you see the whole country is celebrating Christmas. You'll be like, okay, are they all Christians? Then you come around the Muslim feast. When you come around the Muslim feast, you're like, okay, is the whole Gambia Muslim? That is Gambia for you. Very tolerant country. But politicians want to use that. And we need to stop that like yesterday.
Yes, yes, I totally agree. But economically, I see great opportunity in the future just for those fashions in terms of people coming to the Gambia as well as enjoying the Gambia as a place and welcoming tourism in to bring in those other funds to go into the economy. Pretty soon we're going to open up the lines, and we have Brother Paul Landon. He's also working with Cabo, that is a rideshare company, and they're looking into opening their rideshare in Africa and working with the women, giving the women opportunities to have their economics developed with rideshare. Because as you said, it is a Muslim country, 95%. So therefore, having women, being able to drive women to different locations, different places, activities, and give women some freedom that they already have freedom, but give them more freedom. And that's what it's about. So we'll open up the lines, and we have Brother Pa right here. And if you're unmute, that'd be great. And then he could speak a little bit about Cabo or any questions that he have, and then we'll open up the lines for everyone else.
Yeah, thank you, Brother Siki. How you doing?
I'm doing fine. How about yourself?
Good, good. And thank you, Madam, His Excellency, Madam Mary Sack.
Yes.
It was a great opportunity hearing your voice.
Thank you.
I'm so excited that I'm part of this call from a brother coming from the same place like you. So I'm so excited that hearing some of the ideas that you are putting in place, and that's welcoming. And I'm a fan. It's the first time I hear your voice, but I'm a big fan.
Thank you.
Yeah, so I'll say a little bit about Cabo. Cabo is a rideshare company that we are putting together, just like how Uber and Lyft is. We have the same model, just like Lyft and Uber, but with a difference. So we gave the name Cabo from our history. Cabo, you know, we want to come over. Remember, Cabo in history, they conquer a lot of big places in Africa to come and make it a one big empire. So that's the same mindset we have in, you know, Lyft and Uber, as you may be aware, is very big companies that are already established, but they tap in some African countries, but they are not in Africa like we want to be in Africa. You know, it's our second home. So we as Cabo, our CEO is from Gambia, Mr. Ibrahim Ajase. Yes, so I'm the operational director for the company. We will be launching very soon, starting in New York first, and then we are diversifying all the states in the United States, and then the storm is hitting the Africa, and we're starting from Gambia, going Senegal, Mali, Nigeria, and then we're just gonna grow to. The hope is Africa is gonna be using carbon, you know. So we are willing to collaborate and, you know, bring the word out there that, you know, whatever right here is happening, or how the companies are running over here in the United States and Europe, we can do the same thing, you know. So we need people like you that have the minds of developing the country, you know. I think it would be a great opportunity to work together to make sure that, you know, we have the same model as it is happening here. Whatever they can do, we can do better.
Exactly.
You know, yeah. So the most important part, especially in Gambia, you know, Gambia economy is a cash-based economy most of the time. You know, so we are aware of that. Lyft and Uber, normally they don't use cash. So we want to make sure that we have that capability of tapping into that market too, the cash base, where you don't only have to have a credit card or a debit card to get to book a ride. You should be able to pay with cash in a very safe manner, where both you as a driver and the people driving you are all safe, that you're not going to get involved. So we are working on that technology to make sure that we tap into that market.
Yeah.
And Cabo is perfect for that, you know. So when it comes to employment wise, I think it would help big time. You have a lot of taxi drivers, as you know, and that, you know, so if there's a way making making them don't have to go stand in the market and look for, you know, fighting over a customer that is coming in, where everybody is registered in, and then you can be given a ride without struggling and fighting over one person, you know. So that's the vision that we have. We're trying to bring Cabo. I know Nigeria already have Uber there. Nigeria is already using Uber. Senegal is close, because before we are dealing with the people that developed the app were from Senegal. They started it. So we want to make sure that we're dealing with our people. Giving them the opportunity to be part of us, to manage it. We are very diversified. You know, we got people from different parts of the world that are working with us. You know, but the main focus is we want to hit Africa, and we want to come there as a storm. You know, to empower people. Technology-wise, we got a lot of ideas down the road that I think will be beneficiary for all this company.
Yes. Wonderful. That is beautiful, really.
Do you have any specific question, Brother Landon, for Madame Marie Sack?
Yes. So yeah, I do have one. When I'm listening to her. I know you mentioned education-wise, which I think my humble opinion is the key. To empowering people. You know, we have technology-wise, I think we are behind, big time, especially in Gambia. I think it would be important to. I don't know what's your vision when it comes to technical opportunities for the women or the youths, that they can empower themselves without having to depend on too much on, you know, other sectors. But the technology part, I know there's a lot of opportunities there with a lot of smart people, but they are not empowered, and they are not given So what is your plan in when it comes to technology in Gambia?
We have a rolling out program for the schools. We are going to start from early age learning, just like in the US. I thank God I lived in many European countries and the US, and I see how it's done where technology, because listen, when you have a baby alone and the baby is 3 months old, that baby is already playing with your phone. By 6 months, they even, when you buy a toy phone, they know the difference. And I feel that the brain, is developed at a very young age. We just don't give them the opportunity. So if at an early age, you introduce technology in the schools, they grow with it. It's like part of their lives. That's how you start. Now, for the ones that are already out of school and don't have that opportunity, this is where you build skill centers where they can go for computer training and all that to fast track. So we are going to have a rolling out program where we're going to offer that, probably partner with the university or create skill centers where it's just for computer skills training, because we need that. And right now we do have MDI doing it, but I don't like the way they are giving their certificates. I have a lot of young people come to my office and bring me a diploma. Oh, madam, I have a diploma in IT. And I'm like, okay. I put my Apple Mac computer in front of them and the keyboard, and I would leave the office and come back, and the guy is sitting there with a black screen. And I'm like, what's going on? He said, well, I don't know where to put it on. I said, okay, I'll put it on. Then I'll go out again. I'll come back in. The keyboard is not connected to the computer. So, hello, it's wireless. So, but you come in my office with a diploma in IT, but cannot even put on a computer. And you put on then he would tell me, oh, one of them said to me, oh, I'm used to the computer I use at school. Dude, you're not going to look for a job with a computer at your school. So these are challenges that we have. Even the banks, when you go to the bank, it's a challenge. We are still not up there yet. So these are things that we need to now, instead of giving this so-called big titles and all that, bring it down to the grass level. Let them know what a diploma in IT means, as opposed to, hey, I graduated from, just either software, or whatever. They need to know the different, how do you call it, categories when you're doing these things. And so this is why when big companies come to the Gambia, they hire a lot of people with diplomas in IT, and next thing they fire them because they realize it was just paper. So we are going to have a rolling out program for that, because I think it's a necessity, especially in this day and age where we want investors to come and everything is technology. There's nobody's writing now on paper. Even, when you go into an office data, we need to create these things, but in a fast track way, you understand? So that people like you, when you come with your programs or your business, you can hire a lot of young people. You can now help somebody like me as a head of state to job creation, because I need these youths to get employed, but they cannot get employed if they don't have this knowledge. And you're going to end up hiring people from Senegal or from other countries, which is happening right now in the Gambia. Our youths are left hanging and they cannot get jobs because of these, constraints, the lack of knowledge in these fields.
Oh, wow. Thank you so much.
That's wonderful. That's Brother Sticky. Let me add a little bit to what he's saying. And I think one also important thing that we have to look at too is the Wi-Fi. Digitalize the whole country, because just like you might have a perfect idea, just like with the grassroots level, but let's say somebody in the rural areas, they don't have access to internet, then it becomes difficult. It becomes difficult to make sure that the program that is there, but they cannot implement it because I think internet is a big key. You can go to banks, trying to get your money, and then the system is down. You out there trying to get, you lose a lot of money, like 15 minutes of you doing a transaction, that's billions of dollars sometimes for some companies. I think internet is a very key thing that I think we neglect too much in the country. So if you guys can look into that, man, that is
no, the internet. Let me just say something. Pa. The internet is not about the internet is the monopoly of the internet, of the gateway. You understand?
Yes, exactly.
And that is the problem. It's not about the internet, it's about the monopoly. Do you understand? And if we start, for example, Gamtel or Gamcell is Gambia's own, is Gambia's institute. If we empower Gamcell can go all the way to the provinces. Do you understand? I was just looking into a program here with a friend of mine that is part of the team, how we can have, do you know you can even have containers in the villages where you can have it set with internet. People can have access to internet in the village, which you can, you don't even need the internet system in the Gambia. You can have a satellite. You understand? So, you know, like I said, it's people on ground that don't know these things. We can tap into the satellite and we can have internet, and even in the remote areas of the village, they can access the internet. But it's the monopoly and the way they think, oh, you can only access it, you know, through these 3 companies, and then one of them doesn't reach there because there's a monopoly in that. So you know, there's a lot of things that is nothing but common sense in that country. And once you break through that corruption and through all that, trust me, the whole Gambia is 2 million inhabitants. How many kilometers, you know? I mean, everybody can have full access to internet. And then you're talking about companies wanting to come there. We need to be able to have electricity and access to internet all the time. It doesn't take a lot. If we curb corruption, trust me, all this can be realized.
Yes.
Absolutely. 100% agree.
Very good. Thank you. Thank you so much. And then I have the Honorable Dr. Summary. And I wanted to ask Dr. Summary about how did you come about meeting this great Madame Mary Song, who's running for president? How did that come to be? Because it's like she's been hiding and we haven't heard from her. You know, she just pops up and here she is. So, how did it come to be?
Yes, first of all, let me thank Marie, your excellency, for your words of wisdom, because believe it or not, these are words of wisdom, because it's coming from somebody who's versed in wisdom. I've had the honor of hosting Marie in my home. So I had the opportunity to really talk with her more in depth. And I see a character that's prepared to lead. You know, they are at the risk of sounding grandiose. The great philosopher, Oswald Spengler, said that the next great civilization will come from Africa, and it will be through a woman. Mm-hmm. And so the African Women Mobilization Commission is looking for that woman. Is it Marie? Is it Her Excellency? We don't know. So we want to support her just in case she is that woman. How did I meet her? You see, when it's time for you to meet exceptional human beings, God has a way of putting them in your path when you don't even expect it. It was Dr. Nobantu Ankowanda that sent me a link that says, oh, there's this powerful woman coming. And I said, I'm a nosy person. If you present something like that to me, I'm going to find her. And she had a Zoom. So I was a part of that Zoom. And I was so impressed with her that I thought that she deserved exposure. She deserved our support, because she's a woman, number one, and our program is all about supporting women. And when an opportunity presents itself, we must act accordingly. I think Marie Sark is that opportunity that every man and woman who care about fairness, who care about nation building, nation formation, should support. Because, you know, there are times in life things come and go, and if you're not careful, you miss out. I don't think we need to miss out on this woman. She is a very powerful sister. Her spirit, she cares about the people of her country, but not just the people of her country, just women in general. She cares about the vulnerable communities, vulnerable children, vulnerable women, you know, even the handicapped, you name it. I heard her, and you're listening to her. So I don't want us to leave this wonderful, and must commend you. This was a powerful, powerful Zoom call. And I think that you got to know a little bit more about this powerful woman. But I don't want us to miss on the opportunity to understand that she needs our support. It's an empty gesture to just listen to her. And then after we listen to her, then what? You know, she needs our support. And I'm going to throw this in. She has a GoFundMe that we've set up for her. You have that information. And she has a website, marysock.com, where you can go and make a donation. People, let me tell you this. We don't want to miss this opportunity. We want to support her because she will become president. Marie, you can take that to the bank. We are going to have your back. All of West Africa is waiting for you. And we are going to do all that we can to make sure that this powerful sister becomes the president of the Gambia. This is audacity personified. That's who she is. And she deserves our utmost support. So I'm going to cut it short and just let you know, I am so proud of you, Madam President to be, and all of West Africa is waiting for you. Bless your heart. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you so much. Now, would you please give your information again so people could contact you as well as support you with your GoFundMe, Cash App, or Zelle, or if you also have, as well as your website, so we can all get in contact with you and support.
Okay. We can probably have that. I can probably type that here on the chat box so everybody can see that, if that's okay. The website, I think Dr. Lord can help me and do all that for me here. It's I think $ Marie Sock on the Cash App.
Yes.
Yeah, $ Marie Sock. Hold on, let me type it in.
Yes, as well as I know it's mariesock.com.
Yeah, and my
is the website.
And then my email, I think the Zelle is my email, mariesock, just the same name, mariesock@gmail.com. So everything is simple.
Excellent. Excellent. Very good. Very good.
And when you go to the website, the donate button actually takes you to PayPal. And when you go into PayPal, you can go ahead and, just press the donate button. It takes you to PayPal. And then you can see that from there, you can put whatever amount you want. And then it goes directly to PayPal and we get a notification. And we know exactly who it is.
Yes. Well, let's get out there and raise some capital and get you in that seat. Because we need you there. You're doing you're a phenomenal person. You're driven. Any last words that you want to speak to us and the people of Gambia as the coming in president?
Thank you. And then the Dr. Lord, we can put in the GoFundMe. I think the link, do we have that? So we can put that on there. Thank you. Sorry about that. I'm just trying to get
problem.
that done here. Thank you, Dr. Uwa, for those wonderful, wonderful words. I really appreciate that and appreciate you. She has been a phenomenal woman and supporting me, getting all the sisters to support me. And I'm just so honored also to be the chair for West Africa for the, African Women Mobilization Commission. I'm super, super, happy about that. And I want to thank them all so much for their, work and support that they're giving to me.
Yes. Now, as the coming in president, is there anything that you want to let the people know directly from you, from your heart to your mouth to your soul.
Well, what I want the people all to know, I don't want them to look at me and say, oh, it's Marie Sok, or oh, it's, a woman. It's not about just being a woman. It's about, let us give chance to the other gender. Let us try to put women in place. At the end of the day, look at us as mothers. All the men that are here today, when you go home, you are so fond of your mothers. You're so fond of your sisters. You know what your mother has impacted in your life. And I stand here today in front of you as a mother. And Africa needs salvaging. We need to save Africa for our children. We need to strategically put women in positions in Africa so that that day that we are negotiating for Africa, women can have that voice, because we don't negotiate for ourselves. We are not self-centered. We negotiate always for the interest of our families, for the interest of our children, and also for our interest of our husband, whether you like it or not. We negotiate for everybody that is for us. So let us try to look at this on a bigger picture. It's about us changing the game, changing the dynamics, developing our country. I want Gambia to be developed. I want Gambia to be the Gambia, bring it back to its glory. So we can have friends, families, investors come back to the Gambia. We want Gambia as an example to the world. It's so small and it can be the center. And listen, look at Dubai. If they can do it, we can do it. Yes, we might not have all the minerals or resources that they have, but we can, because it's only 2 million inhabitants. It's small. So it can be the example of all what Africa can be. Rwanda is doing it and they're doing a great job and they're bigger than us. So I'm just calling on everyone and say, hey, give us women the opportunity and the chance to make things right. It is for our daughters and our sons. It is for them.
Yes.
Thank you.
I would love to say thank you. It was an honor, and it has been an honor and a pleasure to have Madame Marie Sok, that is running for president of the Gambia. And we have one more question by King Charles before we go. We'll let the question be asked by Brother King Charles. Are you there?
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much to meet with you guys, my brothers and the sisters of Africans, kings and queens of Africa. My name is Charles Andrea from Tanzania, East African countries here. So I'm so very wonderful with man, what he said, what he advising us. I'm 27 years old, but I'm so very happy to attend African meeting about leadership, about the United States of Africa. So we are young. We need to inherit from our mother, from our father, from our grandfather. But the problem is, my brother, my sisters, my mother, in this meeting, the problems that we have in Africa, okay? As Africans, we have a challenge in education system. Mm-hmm. Because education system that we have in Africa, we are producing a lot of remembering. People who never think, but people who remember document from the school what they taught. That's why the challenge that we have. But it reminds that education that we have in Africa, we are inherited from our colonial masters. Mm-hmm. And we believe that if colonial masters, they come Africa to exploiting us, they will never give us a good education, especially to open our minds. Mm-hmm. That's why most of readers that we have in Africa, the challenge they have, they thought like a white people. Mm. That's the challenge. That's why someone from Zambia I see in the post of Facebook, we said most of readers in Africans, they are not elected by their citizens. They are selected by the powerful nation to save them. That's the challenge we have. For example, we have a lot of doctors, graduate, PhD, masters, professor, we have them. But they failed to produce even a COVID-19 vaccine, even malaria vaccine, even Ebola vaccine. But they remembering to arrange the medicine to their client. For example, when you go to the hospital and you make a measurement that you have a malaria, okay? They're asking how you feel. How about your condition in your body? My condition is not good. They take a measurement. After experiment, they give you a result. You have a malaria. 2. Okay? So what we need to give you, go take Mseto or chloroquine 2 times per day. But they don't know within a chloroquine what things containing there. They don't know. Why? Because colonial masters, they designing education system to get laborers. They producing a medicine in Europe. They came Africa because they know they have their industries they producing through the education systems that we have. That is a big challenge in Africa. That is a big challenge, my brothers and sisters. I'm so very young person. But sometimes I feel very, very, very painful. You can't imagine a person who colonizing you, you call them leader. Banditi Berlin conference. They're dividing as the smallest party in Africa for the main purpose to exploiting us. But when you go in school, they never teach you something like that. They call them leader. If you are in Europe, and if you are born there, your father, your grandfather, your mother, or your grandmother, who taken from here, Africa, he is a genius. White people, when they came here, Africa, during the slave trade and colonialism, to attack Africans to go in Europe, they were never taken people who never thinking good. They are never, no, sorry. They are taking people who thinking good. They take genius. That's why when you read it to the history, if you refuse to become a slave, they're cutting off your hand. Because they know if you left in Africa, you will produce, you will make something good that will make them to fear you, especially in development. So I'm so very young. My education is very low. I have a lot of plans, but sometimes I fail. I'm from Tanzania, but the person who influencing me to join and to make a research, especially in Pan-Africanism, is our late president, Dr. John Pombe Joseph Magufuli. He's a very role model in my mind, and I will never change it until I will die. Please, mother, father, uncle, auntie, from USA, from Europe, please come back to Africa to support us. Don't be afraid. We are not too late, please.
Honestly.
We are not too late. Please come back home. Come back home. I'm talking from the bottom of my brain, please. I get very pain when I see the future of young people in Africa. If we don't support our fellow Africans, guys, we will cry. We will roast them. We will roast our continent. And the time will come, God will punish us according to the spirit which they taught in us in the school, in the churches.
Yes.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. God bless everyone. Please, everything that you push, pray to the Lord to move, to succeed. We are very, 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 very poor in mind, not in our resources.
Yeah.
We have everything, but we think like white people. We think like, what can I say? But let me say, thank you, God bless everyone here in this meeting. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Wow.
Thank you,
Wow.
Brother Charles. Very powerful. Very powerful.
Yes.
Thank you so much. And bless you. Bless you. Yes,
Amen.
madam. That raises a question in terms of the presidency, as well as if elected, would you look at the possibilities of bringing our own scientists back into the Gambia to develop the medicines that we do get from other places outside of the Gambia, in terms of that Africa is creating medicines for Africans? That raises a great point.
Yeah, well, like I said, I want to work with brothers and sisters in Africa to do a lot. Presently, I'm even talking to somebody owning a pharmaceutical company in one of the African countries. And we want, we need to promote each other. I know if a brother in Africa has a pharmaceutical plant, I know he will produce proper medicines for its people. The herbs are here in Africa. We have everything here in Africa. It is from here we take them and bring it to Europe and, do our research and package it up and send it right back to us. And it will be watered down. So, and we need to have access to these medications. Our parents are old. They don't have, it's expensive to buy medical supplies for them, especially if they have rheumatism or arthritis and stuff like that. We also have we need to start promoting natural medications, something that is affordable, something that we can take from our gardens. Africa has everything.
Yes, I totally agree.
May I just say something? The young man who just spoke, King Charles, King, we hear you. We hear you.
Yes,
Everything you have said is true. The educational system is not designed for you. It's designed to hold you down, keep you down. You are the future. And as long as the future is tied down, listening and praising and doing things that have nothing to do with your reality, you will always be groveling. It's not designed to put you in the position to actually become leaders, but put you in the position to be good followers. You said something that was very unique. And having talked to Her Excellency, that was one of the things. Education. Yeah. We've got to reverse that. Yeah. Because there is no school, even quality schools, they don't teach them their language. For the most part, it's English. As a matter of fact, I know children who are punished for speaking English. For speaking their language. Everything has to be in English. Those who hold your mind, I don't know if you're familiar with this guy, Stephen Biko. Stephen Biko told young South Africans that the most powerful tool in the hands of an oppressor is the mind of the oppressed. Not your house, not your car, not what you own, but your mind. If you don't have control of your mind, somebody can always come there and take over. So what this young man is saying is that the mind doesn't belong to them anymore. They're being taught to give away their minds and adopt something foreign to them that's not designed for their own well-being. So, Your Excellency, yes, your challenge is definitely going to be to change the educational system so that we have documentation. I'll just say this right quick. I'm a professor and I teach MBA courses. And I tell all my children, all my students, when you quote, when you give me references and you don't give me a reference that comes from a Black mind, you will not get an A. Yeah. You must quote something written by a Black person for you to get an A. And what that forces them to do is go to read textbooks published by people. So we need to bring that back into the school system so that our young people will learn about themselves and quote their own people and use ideas from their own people. So what this young man is saying is absolutely something that I'm sure you're going to take up based on our conversations.
Yes. Yeah. Just to buttress what you say, in my manifesto, I'm sure I sent it to you, you see it there, yes, where I said in the schools, we're going to incorporate our local languages. Because right now, as I speak to you, you can even get jobs translating for these international bodies, and it's a lot of money. And instead of them sending their people to learn our language, we are going to teach our people in the schools already 2 or 3 different local languages. So they grow up being multilingual in the native language. We need to own up to our culture and our tradition. It doesn't hurt to learn their language, because when you travel, you want to interact, but it is very important that we learn and understand our own. And it starts from that, and then also embrace our culture. Our culture defines who we are and who we want to be tomorrow, not being judged or manipulated by the Western mind. And this is what is happening, just like the gentleman say, the ones that come and say they have the PhD and all that from the Western world, like I said earlier, I said, listen, people in Africa, they're not stupid. Just being educated in the European sense doesn't mean they are not educated. I have spoken to a lot of people that are scholars in their local life, and the wisdom they have, that wisdom is nowhere to be found. I have met people who study local medicine. They have never been to school, and they can tell you each herb, what it cures and how it cures, even from a snake bite. All these medications you see today in the Western world, most of them, 99, probably 99% come from Africa. And they use that to develop their medications and send it right back for us. Well, our ancestors were already doing all that. It's just how do we introduce that to our children to grow up knowing that we have everything already. So yes, Dr. Uwa, I will integrate. It's already in my manifesto for our Africa, for us to realize who we are, how powerful we are, and what we want to do for Africa.
Yes,
yeah. Just to, Brother Siki, I'm gonna add a little bit to what these 2 powerful ladies are just saying. It's amazing. One thing I want to add too. Tapping into the talent that we have both in Africa and the diaspora. One challenge I see, especially in Gambia, is most people are not welcoming to when you have these intellectuals or whatever coming from overseas or coming over to take over from you. We have this problem of thinking like they're coming to implement whatever they have in overseas or in Europe. They want to come in and bring that and enforce towards us. So I think it's important because we got a lot of talent, especially in Gambia, have a lot of people outside the country that if we come together, there's no way that we cannot build Gambia. But I don't see I'm always amazed how comes we can never come together. I know you touch on it a little bit, is because of the diversity the country has when it comes to, people don't want to come as, we have a lot of tribal issues there. Me personally, I think, because I think when we come together as one Gambia, just like you alluded earlier, with different backgrounds, but we all thinking as one Gambia. I might be good in technology, or people that are good in medicine, or people are good in defense, but we don't want to come together to develop our country. it's always a problem to have to tap into that market for some reason. I don't know what is the issue is, but I think that should be a very important agenda to bring all the intellectuals around the world that have the same vision like what you have, to make sure that we come together and they all support and get the country forward. But we have that big problem in Gambia. People don't want to go back and work, or when they feel like when they go back, they are not welcoming.
Well, the thing is, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I'm from the diaspora and I went back and I was not welcome, but I fought it. You know, it's not about when you go, you're not welcome. You cannot just leave because you're not welcome. We have to break that cycle. And this is one of the reasons I stand as an independent candidate, so that I can invite everybody to join in. And sometimes it comes, like you said, the intellectuals in the sense that most people, when they go out and they have that PhD, they feel too proud, they feel too big. They start coming home and looking down on their people, forgetting that's where they came from. And for me, it's not about that paper that you can hang on the wall. It's about what you have learned outside of your country that can now empower you to even come back and say, hey, you know what? I learned this and this and this. Let me add that to the value of what we have already and see how we can now develop ourselves and develop our country. But if you come with that arrogance and you come with that, you know, nobody want to work with you. You don't even want to go to the provinces. You feel too big to go to where you came from. So that is our problem in the Gambia. You know, humility is key in this sense. I go to the provinces. People don't think I can go to the provinces. When I came out as a president, they say, oh, she don't even know the provinces. She doesn't even know what we're going through. She doesn't know. They don't know I've been active in the provinces. I'm not from the provinces. I was born in the city. But I love the provinces because my parents worked there all their lives. My dad made sure every summer we go to the provinces for holiday. Sometimes in the night, they will run around in people's houses to look for us. These are the memory I have of the provinces, and I love going there, and it has to be developed. But if we stop being arrogant, if we put our egos aside, oh yes, we can come together. Just like now, I'm running as a female president. Oh, you know how many intellectuals? Oh, what is her educational background? What is her... When I sit with you with a PhD, what I can tell you, you might not be able to tell me because you are specialized in that field only.
Mm-hmm.
I am not specialized in one field.
Yeah, that's it. You said
and that is it. And that is my experience that I have from traveling all over the world and interacting with different kinds of people. And I didn't just travel in only the European world, I traveled in Africa too. I sat with the locals in Africa. And this is why I can talk on a whole global topic. Anybody I sit with, whether it's Europeans, whether it's the multi-billionaire in Europe or anywhere, I can sit on any table and I will not make Africa shame. I will make Africa proud because I can give them any answer of any question that they put on the table for me and with me. And that is what it takes to be versatile. I can go to the village. If you come to the village and you see me in the village, you will say, this is not that same woman I saw all dressed up. I am sitting on the floor, I'm pounding a millet with them. I am put myself on that level, and that is what it takes. But if we come with our PhDs and say, oh, I got a PhD, you're speaking this language, now you're better than your people, your own people that made you who you are today, then it's a problem to come together.
Yes. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I know we're running out of time.
Yes.
I would love to have you back. And I would love to say thank you so much to our audience. I know we had some people that had their hands up, and I apologize that we couldn't get to you. But next time, please put your hand up. You'll be the first one there. Chris Waller. I apologize, Chris Waller. And thank you so much, everyone. Dr. Uwa, thank you so much. Paul Landy and the Honorable Madame Mary Sock, thank you so much. We look so forward to seeing you in that seat of presidency. And you know we're going to back you. We're going to make sure that we're going to put out on our Instagram, our Facebook, call them out to come and support you. So any literature, any information that you have, please send it to us and we'll put it on our feeds and we'll send it out and get it out to the people. Thank you so much for your time. It's been an honor, a pleasure.
Absolutely.
Please announce that she'll be on the 13th at 8 o'clock. If folks missed her opportunity to speak, I believe she's going to be coming back on another Zoom call, right?
Okay. Yes, please. Any other engagements you have, please let us know.
Yeah, she does. She does have a show. Is the Lord there?
Yes,
is
the
Dr.
Lord is
there?
here. Lord is here.
Yeah.
We have actually one that we have to get into right now.
Yeah. Can you announce that your engagement on the 13th?
Okay,
the
excellent.
On the 13th, so you can give the background on that.
Sure.
Okay, yeah. So any other things that you have going on, please let us know so that we can promote you and get that information out to the people that need to know.
Great. Greetings, everyone. There is another Zoom that she's going to be doing on the 8th at 8 p. On the 13th at 8 p.m. That's with Laura Chambers. I'm trying to pull that up here now. We actually have a link. Is it possible to put it in there now? Can we do that?
Yes, that's not a problem. You can put anything that you need in the link, as well as send me any information, and I'll be glad to put it on our Facebook, Instagram, and this is going to be on our YouTube channel, so it'll be going out to our viewers that didn't get a chance to actually participate live, but then they'll be able to respond and as the broadcast goes on.
Okay. Great. What I'll do here is I'll copy and paste the link here now for that. If you'll copy, no, that's not right. Just drag and drop it here. Won't do that. Okay.
Yeah, speaking of technology, see, this is what we're going through. So hopefully you can get some good programmers that just streamlines things, coming directly out of Gambia, programmers that are doing great work.
And Ashiki, she has about 4 more programs lined up for her. Poor lady, I don't know if she'll ever get any rest.
Yes, well, that's great because that's what it takes to win.
Well, some of them are private sort of things that people are hosting for her, but I have a couple of public ones, and I'll send that to you so you can post that as well.
Yes, please do. Please do.
But we're doing a telethon. We're doing a telethon.
Great.
Yeah, I'm going to we'll send that to you.
And we'll be glad to support.
Yes,
put our 1,000% behind Madame Sack. So that's not a problem. Not a problem at all.
The GoFundMe, I think we send a link on the GoFundMe up there. We also have the website, and we just have a lot going on, but we'll send you the links and probably on your WhatsApp, or Dr. Lord can forward that to you, or Dr. Uwa. I think you have the GoFundMe links, and they can forward all these things to you as well.
He's got that. I gave it to him.
Oh, good.
Yes.
Good.
Yeah.
And then I'll also put that on the YouTube. So when people look at the YouTube, as we promote the YouTubes, then people will start getting that information out.
Yeah.
Thank you so very much for having me on your show. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And thank you, everyone. You all have a beautiful, blessed day. And thank you for taking the time to be here.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. Everybody that's on here, I want to say thank you for being here today and listening to me.
Yes. We have the honor.
You are who we've been waiting for.
Yes. And it was glad to have everyone on the Black Light Show. And I'll see you all later. You take care now. All right. Peace.
All right.